Okay, so I'm starting to get irritated. I'm just gonna say this. I know I have a mission to do down here. I know God has called me to do something. I know that He's given me gifts or whatever, and I didn't know that I had these gifts until I awakened. But it's a lot of stuff that come with. Number one, if I didn't go to readers or whatever, I wouldn't even know what's going on. Like as far as like what your enemies are planning and how you need to keep up protection. Before I even went to got deep into readings like that, I didn't even know stuff exists like that. Like I learned about the Eastern stars through a reader. Then I did more research. I was like, oh, that's what they're doing. I made that video on my channel, but I first learned about that through a reader. I didn't know about the fraternities they practice witchcraft. I didn't know about none of that stuff. It's like I didn't start looking into it and stuff. This way before I got my little chant book or whatever, or protection spells and stuff like that, protection chants or whatever. But it's like it's like I'm saying when you start finding out stuff about people, the stuff that people do. Number one, the gang stalking is a real wake up call for spiritual warfare, whatever. The little shots and stuff people throw, even though I've awakened, they've been doing it since I was younger. People usually do that to empaths all the time because they think that we are. Usually it's like dingy or whatever, or we won't stand up for ourselves. But I don't know about any other empaths, but the way I used to be, people would just say stuff, they'll comments, and I let it go over my head, let it keep going. But the guy caught out on my channel the other day, the one I used to have a lot of respect for, just kept going, them subliminal shots, kept going. And then finally, when I upload, people act like the victim and like you did something to them. I don't respect you, blah, 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 blah. When in reality, you never, and I don't even want to address them. I'm just, because I don't watch them anymore. I'm just saying, reality, they never had respect for you in the first place because they never really tried you like this. So it was no respect ever on their part. You just had respect and you lost respect. And they lost respect for you after you stood up for yourself and called them out. So we'll just say that. But let me say this, it's a reader. And it's always people that everybody I share on my page or whatever, I'm not talking about them. It's certain black women or whatever that I look at and I really respect during the readings. People that I call out, it don't have nothing to do with, even if somebody say, Aries, you need to learn how to do this or hold back or try not to lose your temper or something like that. That's divine guidance. And you could tell the way they reading it, they can see what you're struggling with or what you're going through, and they're actually trying to lead you out of it. I don't like readers that sit up there and like it's a reader or whatever. And I shared it on my page a while back, whatever, and I constantly delete stuff. Don't take it personal when I delete. Some people I delete off my page because I just didn't like the little snarky comments, and some people some reasons I just delete or whatever, because a lot of the times the readings I used to have were about the divine masculine, and I don't really give a damn about what he doing no more unless it comes to what if he's plotting or something or chaos that's coming that way from that black magic. Other than that, just he can stay away, and that's the way I hope he feels. So it is what it is. But all that I looked at the reader yesterday or whatever, and number one, this is the thing. People, and I shouldn't even have to explain this, but I don't give a darn about people ghetto or hood and stuff like that. Cause when I get mad, people will see another side of me. I've gotten better, but I can get you can see just what people are exposed in a calm way. So you can imagine how I used to expose people that'll really make them dislike me when I used to get mad. Oh, she crazy. I try to check people in a calm way now, so I won't always be known as somebody that's getting violent and stuff. I'm not really on it. I ain't got time to be getting in your face. Be what? Be you this, but I don't want to do that. People can kind of take me out of the element because I be sitting up there wondering. I be like, why people do the stuff that they do or say the stuff that they say when they know your energy, especially if you're a card reader, but they know your energy and they just doing it to be silly. Like I just listened to this person in her reading. She's like making it seem like she's talking about the divine masculine, but remember I'm a psychic too, so I'm very intelligent. Even though I'm not like a book, I can read books, but I'm not intelligent like how do you say it? I'm not like a mathematics type of person or I could never go to college for 4 years and just, that's not my, I can't concentrate that long to even be dealing with that stuff. I'm spiritually intelligent with like gifts and stuff like that, but I'm not like no college degree professor or nothing like that. that's why when I used to try to work and go to school, it didn't really last that long. So we'll just say that. But anyway, let me just get back to my point. I don't like people that just subliminally throw shots for no reason when they know your energy. People, readers, there's no reader out here that can say that I'm cocky or arrogant if they can read them cards. I just think that I'm better than anybody. The only people that'll say that are people who don't know me, or people that look at the post and they're like, oh, she thinks she better, or she thinks she Miss Perfect, or they don't know me or whatever. But readers who can see that, feel my energy, and they still throw them shots, that's how I know you work for the devil or whatever. Period. It ain't about you throwing shots because you just don't like somebody. You know their energy and you reading cards and you being silly in them cards or whatever, then you work for the devil, period. Especially if you know who I am or whatever, you know what I'm here to do. So that's the thing I have a problem with. And it's always people that address me indirectly or whatever. Even if I don't have a lot of views showing up, if I had a million views, they just wouldn't direct me directly or whatever. Because especially readers, because they know who I am or whatever. It's not about intimidation, it's that they know who I am. I'm not who nobody portray me out to be or whatever. I used to be known as like a hothead or whatever because I feel like people do stuff and they try me and then they play victim. You've seen openly with the person I exposed on my page last time. All them disrespectful comments talking all need your clothes, wigs and hair and face and weight and all the other stuff. Just disrespect, and not even on their one video, other videos, acting like they gonna help you. Not gonna, and I don't even really want to address it, but it's just like the helping part, that ain't nothing because nobody obligated to do nothing. If they're gonna be fake, they're gonna be fake. I mean, it's already karma for that. But all that pity stuff and stuff like that, when you finally stand up for yourself or say something, clap back, and they want to act like you're the victim. But what I come to learn is, this is what I was always told by my grandmother. She said, the reason why people get so mad at me is because they'll try me and I won't say nothing. I keep letting it go on and on, or just don't really say nothing. They'll get wilder and more comfortable with it, disrespecting or whatever, because they don't really know me or whatever. Then finally, when I snap back, they're going to be looking at me like, because you let them get away with it so long. When the first time somebody disrespect me, I should have just been like, nigga, what? You know, straight up, just because if a person throws snarky comments at you, period, they're disrespecting you. And just the same way they can say that to you, I need to start saying it right back, which is what I do. But I don't want to be going here to this reader and this person saying this, and I'm clapping back, and this one, it's another reader or whatever, a big booty reader or whatever, and be saying silly stuff in her reads and stuff like that, disrespectful stuff, and it's just this like me reading cards or whatever. I'm just gonna give you an example, and this is just a made up example of readers that I know don't work for the divine. If I read tarot cards and I'm reading stuff like, just in general, let me see. Okay, the girl has a big butt and stuff. Now I don't know this. I don't know her personally. But if I read cards and I'm reading for her opposite sign or her sign, they want to know something about her, you don't know, and I'm like, shoot, when she take off her bra, her titties fall to the floor or whatever, and she got a big butt, but in bed she's not a good lady or whatever. Like, and then if somebody check you on it and say, why would you even put, that's not what she said about me. I'm just giving you an example of people reading out stuff that they shouldn't read out about. And then it's like, if you claim that you hear from divine godly beings, if you just want to read and just act like you just getting, if you just saying you getting the guidance from the spirit, then call out what spirit that is. It's not a spirit of God, because the spirit of God ain't gonna tell you nothing like that. Anyway, let me go back to what I was saying. So yeah, that's like me saying it, and then if somebody check me and be like, why you said it, I'm like, are you serious? I was just trying to help. People don't appreciate my work. Like, that's gaslighting or whatever. It's disrespectful. So it's like I have to mirror certain things. It's like certain things you shouldn't even have to explain to people or whatever. But you can't control people. People can do what they want to do, just like I can do what I want to do. But one thing I don't like, people that throw them little snarky comments like blah 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 blah. She talking and she ain't really this, and we ain't seeing this, but you know who I am or whatever. And you read them cards or whatever. All the little tea slurping, whatever you doing, and the messy stuff you read, for you to be that messy and ratchet in your readings or whatever, which I'm calling you out because you said something to me first, then you have to have read their cards and you really know who I am, and then you really know what I came here to do or whatever. So all that, like a subliminal shots, and like I said, sometimes I'll go back once just to see the response, but then it's like I see the response and it's BS. It's always indirectly, never direct or whatever. So it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. People, if they read those cards, and they have to know I'm a psychic. They have to know I'm throwing it. That they know I'm watching their channel, and they have to know that I know they talking about me. But all that, it's like certain things you just don't want to deal with. Like I said before, it's being introverted. Everybody that's introverted or who's not a terrorist, and they just go and you just hear them readings of what people be saying. Because for some, it's not really about what people say. It's just sometimes you want a little feedback or whatever. It's with all the magic. And I heard they did a spill to make my page, make people not want to subscribe, make it look like nobody's watching. They want you to think that they want you to not be confident and think God doesn't love you. You're all by yourself and stuff like that. And I'm through trying to understand why people would do that. I told you they do that because they're demonic and they work for the devil. There's no other way around it or whatever. When I'm doing clapping back and speaking up for myself against somebody that through subliminals or whatever, then it's like that's not real. That's me just clapping back. But just for me, just purposely just saying silly stuff or whatever. It's just annoying. And I was already divinely told or whatever that people are gonna be saying stuff. They've been doing readings on you. They're gonna do. They're gonna be like, her. What is she? It's like people just. That's what I'm saying. They think they too much. I want people to imagine this or whatever. Just really, really think about this. If the world was to end tonight, let's say like around 2 o'clock in the morning, the world just ends and everybody just dies, and then when you like awaken, let's say your soul leaves your body and you're in heaven, you don't have none of your material items. You don't have your TV, you don't have your car, you don't have your clothes on your back, you don't even have your body, just your spirit. And you have to stand before God and be judged. And it's the lake of fire and it's heaven or whatever. Are you gonna be with God, or are you gonna be with your enemy Lucifer? You gotta really think about where you gonna go or whatever. When you don't have nothing to bring with you, nothing to present for God or buy your way in, you can't run no game. You can't say nothing. Where you gonna go? And I'm not saying nothing like because she made that comment she gonna go to hell. I'm just saying people really need to think about that. All that black magic and stalking and trying to make her feel like she not. It's like you have to know that there's a repayment for that. People who do stuff like that openly work for Satan, they can't believe in God or whatever. They don't believe in God. That's why they do it. They think that they have too much power and they're higher than God. Because if people really knew God, they have to know that number one, you're gonna get judged for trying to tamper with people's destinies, do all for even trying to do it, and then number two, for the person you doing it against or whatever. So it's like that's why. And when I say people have to know what they're playing, but you have to really know that if God has called somebody to do something and using them and working through them and using, I'm sorry, my TV too loud, but using them and working through them to and their ancestors and they're highly protected and stuff like that, and they want them to do something, then you have to know that if you doing spell work just out of spite or envy, or you don't like the way that they change, you want them to stay stuck and low and depressed, you want them to be miserable, you don't like the fact that they're confident and single and happy that way, so you want to try to make them feel bad and do them spells to make them tired or eat, and you have to know that it's a repayment for that. Yeah, it worked for a little bit or whatever, but it's like a lot of this stuff was blocked, but you have to know it's a repayment for it. You have to know if you try to make somebody lose their stability, no matter what rank you are in the physical realm and stuff like that. And the people I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. You have to know that it's going to be a repayment for that. Cause just because you don't like what somebody say or they reading out truth, then you have to know that it's a repayment for it. Because for the people to go that hard and they trying to really make it seem like nobody listens, snarky comments, trying to stop you. I'm not even going to say what I'm going through now, but it's like people trying to make me lose my stability. That's all I'm going to say. But you have to know that for you to do something like that, it's a judgment for that. That's why I always say, like in the Passion of Christ, that movie, I got mad because they'll show certain. Hold on. Sorry, my TV. They'll show certain things in that movie, like them beating him and spitting in his face, the savior or whatever, spitting in his face, and who you think you are. He's giving out false divinations or whatever, just like they do me. Ooh, she shop at the thrift store. Ooh, she lose weight, blah blah blah. You ain't good enough or whatever. And a lot of people that be doing it, they not good enough for God or whatever. When you don't have those material things, you stand before God, you're gonna be looked at like that or whatever. When you judged or whatever, all he wanted was material stuff. Oh, she thought she was better. It's like you're gonna be judged like this. So it's just like that's what I'm saying. This is just the physical realm, just temporary stuff. It's just a test. But it's like when you get in a way of what God has called somebody to do because they put in the work. You have to know that playing God or whatever, God will let you go along with it for so long and just sit back. Cause he'll test me. Well, not God. The devil will test me, be like, see, I know she gonna give up. I know she gonna give up. I know she gonna give up. But God knows my character. That's why he allows me to go through it. Cause he knows that I'm strong enough to stand on my own. He knows the outcome. But he judging the people that's doing. That's what I'm saying. God just be watch. Okay, it's been a year. They're still gang stalking. It's been a year. They're still doing the black magic. She's not retaliating. She's not doing nothing. She's doing return to senders, but she's not purposely trying to hurt them. Though I know definitely she's not doing nothing to them. But they steady just going. Even if you stop and you give up and you tired, you still have to sit back and think about what you did, and then it's karma for what you did. Anything you put out, you're gonna get back or whatever. So that's what I'm saying. Anybody that just make them little snarky comments, anybody that's trying to stop you, anybody get mad because you called them out or something like that, or God has called you to call things out and try to help awaken people and stuff like that, or you just, you know what I'm saying, you doing whatever you can to stop somebody, then you gotta know they're just gonna be a repayment for it, no matter what position you in, no matter what, because God is over the devil. Even if you don't believe it, even if you've been taught differently, even if you think you're more powerful, God will shake things up so much that a person that never thought they would fall down or whatever will fall down or lose your life or whatever. So that's just something to really, really think about. It keeps saying, and it's another thing saying that they want to test your character, see how much you can endure. It's like, okay, but then after that, then what are you gonna be able to endure or whatever? It's like God already knows how I am or whatever. You're trying to make somebody's life hard. Then after you do all that, then your life gonna be made hard or whatever. It's like people just do certain things and it's just like it don't the only way it makes sense to me is it's just like they just work for the devil or whatever. So, it's just silly. It's just people just anyway, all I'm saying is that I'm just trying to I don't want to stop, but it's just like they're doing everything in their power to make it stop. Or they don't want you to think you're as skilled as you are. That's what one reader said. They don't want somebody's mother doesn't want you to think you're as skilled as you are, so she's doing magic. Somebody's sister is doing magic, and I already know who these people are, or whatever. And so it's just ridiculous. It's just like if you over here focus on you and they doing magic, and you still steady seeing your views being tampered with, you steady seeing this happen. They riding by this people stealing your energy or whatever. They're like in your atmosphere. You don't have no choice to be like, oh, they're gang stalking today. You think I like getting on my platform talking about that? Or can y'all give it up? Can y'all stop it? Nobody wants to do that every day. Nobody wants to be followed every day. That's like taking my attention off of what I'm supposed to do. When people constantly playing on my phone all day from different numbers, it's throwing me off focus or whatever. It's just annoying or whatever. It's just like it's just really annoying. It's just like you put the work in, change your life, and people say, I don't care if she changed her life, she gonna stay where I want her to stay. If I want her to make it, she had to make it with me, or she can't make it at all. If you want to ignore me, all right, I'm gonna make your life miserable. When you can just, people have their own choices, but you tampering with people's free will, you're playing God or whatever. And people need to know who they playing with. Not in no way like I'm Mrs. Big Stuff or nothing like that. I always try to correct myself, but people don't think I'm talking like I'm a all be all or nothing like that. But in reality, people don't think what they want. It's about what's real. It's about this world works and the laws of karma. Whatever you put out, you gonna get back. Ain't no amount of protection spell gonna protect you from putting out bad things against a true person of God or divine beings, empaths or whatever, and you're not gonna get it back. And then you have to think about the next lifetime or whatever. If you don't believe in reincarnation or hell or whatever, but you gotta think about the stuff everything you did, you gotta pay for that in your next lifetime too. So we have different like judgments and stuff like that for people who do believe in reincarnation. And then tomorrow's not promised or whatever. And then you always have to remember God watching everything that you do. But some people, they know that and they don't believe in God, so they don't care. But people fear the devil, and they make the devil sound like he's so big, bad, and bold, and the devil make you feel like you have all these powers and you Superman. But you gotta remember that God created the devil or whatever. So God is way more powerful. The people that think they can never be touched can be touched in the worst type of way or whatever and removed. So that's just something to think about. I just want to come on here and say it or whatever, because it's like it's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna limit myself down to like probably like 3 or 4 tarot readers. And like I said, I always say this before, but I go kind of back and forth because I change my mind a lot, especially like with little stuff. But it's like I don't really want to share certain people on my page no more, because I don't want nobody to know who I'm watching, or just in general. It's like I just don't really want to do this. Certain people I share on my page in the past that I wish I wouldn't. They threw a shot here and there, and I don't. It rubs me the wrong way for me to do that. And it's just, I don't know. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to get on here and vent. But like I said, there's certain tarot readers I go to, and I just really listen to the way they read, and I have a lot of respect for them. And I can just tell just the way that, even if they don't show their face or whatever, they do show their face, I can just tell that they're being led by a good God, being of light or whatever, just the way that they talk and the way they present this. I don't like them little silly readers or whatever that stuff be getting on my nerve or whatever. So that's all I wanted to say. So that's it. Have a good night, y'all.